Worrying about the outcome is just creating resistance to it and making it so that it's not going to be the most soul-aligned, fulfilling result. And so, welcome back to Sersha motherfucker. So I am back here in my van. Voila. And it has arrived to Italy. If you know, you know. If you don't, I am living in this van, traveling Europe, and I was living on this horse farm that I'm at right now in Italy, and then I went to go start more van life travels and plan to come back in September here and start to kind of make this a home base on the farm because I love it here, I love the people here, and it's just the community that I didn't know I needed. But right when I got to Austria and spent a week with my friend, the van broke down right after, literally minutes after I dropped off my friend at the airport, and said, okay, you said you choose with your free will to live your most soul-aligned life. This is it. And so it brought my ass back to the farm. Long story short, my friends on the farm offered to come help me when I was broken down on the side of the road for 3 days, and that ended up in me coming back to the farm because they couldn't figure out in Austria how to fix the van. The van still does not drive, but it's like my little cabin now on this farm, which is really actually so... There's a donkey right here, please. Hello, Yaya. Hi, honey. I'll see you later. I love this. I love that we're living the life. And I think I love this more than if I was solo traveling. And I want to solo travel. I want to be on the road soon-ish, whenever that's right. But I just love it here. I love being around the animals. This is everything that my little inner child wanted and wants. And Arlo loves it. And I'm supported. And so your mind will choose. Your mind gets to choose what it wants with the free will. And when it comes into agreement with your soul, then things happen. Then you fly to that timeline. And so when you choose what your soul wants, you're going to fly to that timeline. But you have to surrender. Like, it was so ridiculous, but so obviously divinely guided. Like, the fact that it was perfect when I dropped off my friend at the airport. I perfectly broke down on the side of the road where I could stay for 3 days, and everything was perfect and guided and safe, and I knew my divine team was with me in that. You know, of course it was stressful, but I had to work through those parts of me as that would come up. Like, I talked about the panic and the worry that came up during that, and how it was also my opportunity to look at that and look at the parts of me that used to surrender to the panic, like the parts of me that used to surrender to anxiety and become almost like addicted to losing control. That's kind of what I saw when I was in that experience of, like, on day 2 when I lost my keys, which, by the way, if you're wondering, I hang them right here, and this is a cabinet thing. So I lifted this to get some food out of it, and then they knocked these off, and then they went in this electric drawer and hid down there. So I literally had the tow truck driver in here, like, looking with me, because they arrived to take me to where I needed to go, and then I couldn't go. And that's how it ended up being, that I agreed to accept the help from my farm friends, and then I ended up on the farm, and now I'm here on the farm, and, like, it's wild. And so when I was in that panic state on the side of the road after the keys were lost, I was looking at it and I was like, wow, it is so interesting that there is a part of me that wants to give up control, that wants to give in to the panic, that wants to not be okay, that wants to be saved, that wants to, you know, and there were all these stories that I was observing in that. And the hard truth, like, it's hard to look at those stories and be like, wow, okay, like, this lives within me. Part of me, so when I say part of me, I'm really referring to, like, the understanding of internal family systems. I don't know much about it, but I understand the concept. There's different parts of ourselves. And in order to no longer be controlled by some of the parts, you have to learn to accept them. And so there's multiple parts of yourself. Whereas a part that, wants to lose control and wants to not be okay and wants to be saved. And there's a part of me that doesn't ever want to, be in a panicked state or be in a state where I forget the truth of who I am. There's many layers and many parts of you. And so to alchemize it, you love and accept that part of you. You love and accept that inner child part of you that created that part of you. And so that was my opportunity in that too, was to move through that and to see the truth in that. And so now that I'm back on the farm, I get to spend time with the people that I love here. And I was having a really good talk, I don't know how to explain it, deep and wonderful talk with my friend last night. And as she's moving through things with like all the chaos in her mind and the loops and the patterns and the panic, I was talking with her the ways that I was able to move through that and no longer have those. Like, it had been years and years and years since I had ever experienced panic like I did in Austria when I broke down. And it was for me because I got to see it from a new perspective. And that's what happens as we go through these challenging things. We change. We get a new perspective, and then we get to offer that to the world. We get to offer that to our friends, to our family, to people online, if you speak online, and to whoever you come in contact with, whether you speak about it or not. The frequency that you embody from learning these new things and having these perspectives changes the world. So I was telling her the only way out is through. The only way out is through. And so you have to face these parts of yourself. You have to look at the actual story behind them, the parts of you that are creating that reality, and from that story or that belief that is within your subconscious mind. And so that's why I created that program, the 21 Days to Rewire Your Mind. It's really to get in the habit of rewiring your mind, firing new neurons together and looking at where you are and being honest with yourself, and then rewiring it and choosing with your free will a new timeline. Anything is possible. You're capable of healing your mind. You're capable of changing your reality, of changing your body. It's all very possible. The only thing holding you back is the belief that you can't. And so even when I look at my health journey and how I got really sick from Lyme and mold, I look at the part of me that was younger and that used to go to the nurse's office every single day because I really liked being nurtured. I really liked having someone take care of me. And I started to form the belief that the only way that I could receive the love and attention that I really enjoyed was by being not okay. I was very overwhelmed going to school. I didn't feel like excuse you. I didn't feel like I really fit in there. I felt like Earth was very odd, still do, but I've gotten used to it and found the joy and the beauty in it. I felt that humans were odd. I was just like, this is a lot. And so the only time that I could ever not go to school was when I was sick. And so I started to form these beliefs around wanting to be sick. And so when I looked at my health journey and got honest with myself about those things, I was like, oh, there's a part of me that just wants to be loved. There's a part of me that really does not want to be in the system. I was just laying in a hammock here in Italy on this horse farm, and because I was coming down to make this video to show you guys that we're back in the van, and she's like, no, you gotta go check out the hammock first. And so I laid there, I sat in silence, I played some songs, and I really like Trevor Hall, The Old Story. I'm randomly listening to some country songs right now. I feel like country has a lot of passion. I like music for the passion behind the singers' voices. And excuse you, you're kind of pushing me. And so I was like, wow, I don't even know what day it is. Wednesday, I think. And I get to just lay in this hammock and actually relax, actually rest. When before, in the system that I was in California, in my job, and just in society, it was like that was not okay to just rest and to just be okay and to just feel good and to just say yes to life. Like, someone says, you want to come do this, and it lights you up and you get to say yes. I understood that concept for a very, very long time, but I wasn't really in a position where I could because of circumstances, because of the job, because of the, the responsibilities that I had. And so this year that I've talked about of trust falling, it was like I am getting off the hamster wheel. I was in the airport a little over a year ago and I was writing. I was like, okay, I am on the hamster wheel and I need an exit plan. I think I wrote the grand hamster wheel exit plan. And I was sitting at the bar because it was just like the only thing that I think was like open, or it was nice level for my laptop to neck ratio to try to not have that thing, and I was there for, it was like a 9-hour layover. And so I wrote out like, okay, I'm choosing to leave the hamster wheel. A few days later, my job changed into such a ridiculous type of requirement that it was like no longer was it an option. Starting to go into the office every single day, drive to LA once a week to do like production stuff. And it was like 3 hours each way with traffic. And I already knew in my soul for a long time that it wasn't for me anymore. And then when that happened, I was like, this is happening for me to quit, to finally quit. This is my sign to go. And when I left, I was telling myself the story. I choose to not have to work for money anymore. I choose to work for purpose and pleasure, and that I always have enough. And that transition has worked because I'm here and I have never gone back to another 9-to-5 job since then. But also, like what I'm working with some of my clients, and what I love talking about is that when you do that, there are going to be different layers of the subconscious that are presented to you that are going to give you the opportunity to choose the truth of what you know and what you are setting out to experience, or choose to believe in the unconscious that once controlled you and to go back into old ways. And so I was in that a lot. And then I had to continue to sift through what was real and what wasn't real, and start to see that everything is happening in divine, perfect timing. And it has in so many ways. And it was interesting. It has been interesting to be trying to work with a therapist recently. But like I've said, it just every time I try to schedule a session with this therapist, it just does not work out. Like the other day, I think yesterday, it didn't work out. I had a client at the same time, and I was like, this is so interesting. Like, I cannot get on the phone with this lady. And when I did the second time, like last week, she encouraged me to do something that did not feel soul aligned, that ended up not being, like, of course it had divine timing and served a purpose, but it was not something that I would choose. And I feel like I have the level of awareness and soul guidance with my divine team to not need to seek that kind of guidance from another human. And that's not to say that like I have a lot to learn. I always want to be a student and I always want to learn, teach, but I don't know that it's in this form. And so I forget how that came up, but I feel like that was important to say. It's like, just be careful who you're allowing to control or dictate or influence the decisions that you're making. Only you know what's best for you and your divine team, which is part of you, and you have the ability to communicate with them. And when you can start trusting that no matter what, and start rewiring the mind to no longer be controlling you anymore, you get to live a soul-aligned life. You get to be on this experience and journey of truly living and being in places that you feel like you belong, being in places that feel like home. I think one of the country songs that I really like is it's by Morgan or something, but it talks about the feeling of home, like someone and something feeling like home and feeling like belonging. And that is so invaluable, and that really only comes from living a soul aligned life and having things that are in alignment with your soul, with the truth of who you are. Not because like they're not going to be that's not going to come from things that you think that you want, or that you've been conditioned to think that you want, or believe that you want. And so that's why I also have the program, the 21 Days to Know Your Divine Guidance. So you have the other program to rewire your mind, and then also the program to Know Your Divine Guidance. Because with those two tools, and not even tools, but two topics. I don't know. You get to work through the subconscious beliefs, choose with your free will the timeline that you want, know how to access your divine guidance, and live a soul-aligned life. Like literally soar into this timeline where you get everything that you want. And when I say that, I mean everything that your soul wants. And I do believe that your soul has a mission. Like maybe it doesn't want material things, but it does have a purpose for being here on earth. There's a reason why you came here. Things that you're meant to learn, but also ways that you're meant to influence the planet and others on the planet. So it's very divine that you're here right now. And if you're feeling like you're meant for something more, it's because you are. And that just means that you have room to get more in alignment with your truth, and you have more room to decondition your mind, and more room to stop believing in things that are unconscious or programmed within you about your worth, about your power, about your ability to live the life that you want. I still kind of pinch myself every day that I get to do this, that I get to just hammock in Italy on a horse farm with people that I love and my dog, and like while living in a van, which is something that I've wanted to do for a long, long time. It's not for everybody. I had a friend come in here yesterday and she was like, do you like it living in a van? Like, I don't know if I could do this. I was like, oh, this is interesting. I was like, it is not for everybody, but I was like, I love it. I love living small. I love the freedom, although this freaking thing doesn't drive right now. I love where it's brought me so far. I love sailing. I love boating. I love that lifestyle of being on the move with a minimal lifestyle, but having the things that you actually need, and, you know, getting to be with the ones that you love. And so that's the message that was supposed to come through today. And I think really it is so important just to note that the only way out is through. Like, I have to repeat that. The only way out is through. And you have to stop trying to hide from yourself, distracting yourself, and going numb in order to survive. I mean, if that's all that you can manage right now, then that's perfect. But when you feel ready enough, you're never really going to feel so ready for this. If there's things that you really have to work through, you have to face them. And when you face them, it's really a matter of just bringing the truth through them, and doing tools like EFT tapping, and doing tools like visualization and breath work and meditation. And it's not so much like doing more, like we were talking about yesterday, more so deconditioning and choosing. Like the concept of just choosing with your free will and allowing life to move you there, it's rather simple. But the only hard part is accepting that everything is happening for you. Like, as I'm choosing the most soul-aligned life for myself, shit hits the fan. Like, I break down in the middle of a foreign country for 3 days. Like, that was meant because I was also resisting. Like, I wasn't accepting the help to come back to the farm. And I also, probably felt that I was supposed to stay. Before I left, I was considering just getting a train to Austria and being with my friend and then coming back. But I was like, no, I gotta get on the road. I gotta keep going. But that was my conditioning. I was like, I have to see so much. One of you, who I really love your comments, you said, do you feel like you have to, see so much because you're 29 and you're almost in your 30s and you're on that like thought pattern and conditioning of society that tells you that you need to start a family and you're running out of time and like all that stuff. And I was like, yeah, probably conditioned to some extent. Like, there is a part of me that really just wants to get to Norway and be up there and see it in the summertime. But there's also a part of me that's really finding a lot of healing and joy through being here on this farm with these people, around these animals. And so, and close to my family. A lot of my family is here in Italy and in Switzerland. And so it's perfect. Everything is perfect. But the concept of choosing is very, 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 very easy. It's also just a matter of allowing yourself to move towards it, because that will happen. Things will change. Things will fall apart. You will get redirected. You will face things that are physical manifestations of your subconscious patterns and beliefs and fears, and you get to choose in those moments to no longer believe in them or give them power, and to choose to know that you were always divinely guided, and that this process of using your free will is real. I definitely recommend reading the book Transurfing. It's like a starry night. There's a bunch of different ones, but starry night, star in the sky, something about a star. That's the one that I read, and very, very life-changing. I really recommend it if you're looking to learn about this way of quantum manifestation and using your free will just to change your entire reality. And yeah, if you want to rewire your mind in one of my programs, you can do the 21 days to rewire your mind. I will link that below. You give me your email on Calendly after you sign up, and I'll send you the program. Same thing with the divine guidance, to know your divine guidance. That is linked below. We are currently live in that. So any questions that you have, I am available for you in the comments of each video. If you want to work one-on-one, I have one-off sessions, or we can do a 6-month program where we meet bi-weekly for 6 months, and that is a wonderful amount of time to actually use your free will, set your intention, rewire the mind, work through the subconscious beliefs, and get into this timeline, this perceived reality that feels most fulfilling to you. So that's what I will leave you with. Welcome back to the van, Saoirse, motherfucker. It's just funny calling her motherfucker, but I really do love her, even if she's falling apart all the time. It's such an adventure, and I love it so much. And I will see you in tomorrow's video. If you like this one, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here. Say hello to Arlo. I don't know what you're doing down there. Is that comfortable? Also, don't judge me. I tried to stick these on. It did not work. I need to I don't know if you were even looking at that, but I need to glue these on. It's a project. I'll get to it, but we'll see you in tomorrow's video. Thank you so much for being here. Bye.